Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and following me down into the deep, dark hole of the descent of madness that is this show, my co-host, Nate.
Wow, what a great explanation. I'm an English teacher, not fucking Tomb Raider.
I mean, that may be where you start, but where you end up is still going to be Lara Croft-esque if you are one of the protagonists of this film. Well, welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victims, who are usually not someone we would consider a horror fan. Nate,
back in the cave. Back in the cave.
Lisa, look, we did some things we're not proud of. Lisa's still in the cave. We'll go find her.
No, right? Why is it so incriminating?
Right.
Oh no.
We certainly every person for themselves is really our mentality.
Is that a euphemism? Like, oh, she's back in the cave.
She's back in the cave. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want it to be a euphemism because I don't want to have to try to figure out what that might mean.
She's hanging out with your girlfriend from Canada.
No, truly.
Like, oh no.
No, truly she is dealing with the worst horror of all, which is children. So it is just
oh, that's not a good segue to the beginning of this movie.
Yeah. Okay, so this week we are talking about a very highly regarded movie called The Descent. And I mean, yeah, this is certainly a hell to the no from Lisa, I would think, just based on the first 10 minutes of this film.
Yes,
which
definitely.
Nate, I mean, I know we're gonna get to it, but this is like the first, like literally first 10 minutes. Nate, is this the quickest we've gotten child endangerment / death? I mean, that's got to already get you off at a high point. Like, I just feel like that's like you're already at that. That's like when you're on a roller coaster and you just go straight up to the top right at the beginning, and it's all downhill. Yeah.
It was so fast. Yeah, this is. I mean, I remember.
Nate says, "Give me that child death early, loud, and fast, and often." Yeah.
No, it was. A couple other movies come to mind. The Beelzebub again. Which is like probably the OG originator of the My Girl Award. That one is later. That builds up a little bit.
Sure.
I want to say Annabelle, the Annabelle prequel.
Oh,
had a girl get run over by a car real early.
Yeah.
That was real early too. I'm trying to think of some other ones, but this is so. I mean, I would say we're 4 minutes in, and over half that is credits. So it's fast. It is in this movie. It is just not messing around, and that's what I like about the movie in general. It is not messing around. If you're gonna get a kid death, I mean, it could have been in the first 30 seconds of the movie happening. So I mean, there's a little bit of room to spare.
Well,
not much. Wow, it was. I appreciate the economical nature of the
Lisa
of the murder of the death Lisa of the beginning.
Lisa was just telling me the other day she Nate's birthday was recently, and for those that are wondering, and it was no one has asked me this, but I'm telling anyway. I got Nate a copy of the screenplay for The Witch. From you can get those on A24's website. I also got me a gift of my own for Hereditary. It was an anti-gift for Lisa because she does not want that in our house. But as I'm looking and I'm showing Lisa the screenplay and stuff, she goes, I am really surprised I didn't just straight up walk out of that movie with the witch, with the child endangerment in that one. And that's a Nate special for sure. There's both animal carnage and child endangerment. So,
and what I like about that is that it hits all levels. There's animal, there's kid, there's slightly older kid.
Bad things happen in a basement. It is that
slightly older kid than that. There's parents. There's animals giving it. There's animals getting it. It's all it. You got everything. It's
oh my god!
incredible.
And there's terrible things that happen in an attic because there are no basements in this. I mean, I would contend that if there was if there were a basement, all the bad things would have happened there. But I guess if you only have one, I guess, makes sense why that's your favorite movie. Anyway, yeah. So she would have, I think, noped out of this. Yeah. This is something else. Well, look, we're gonna get into The Descent. If we sound like we are just all over the place, is because we have been dealing with all sorts of technical and otherwise issues. But look, it is Halloween. We are persevering. We've got a lot to get through. With that said, why don't we haven't done this a little bit, Nate. Let's get into a debate question.
Bid our father, the Sea King, rise from the depths full foul in his fury. Black waves teeming with salt foam to smother this young mouth with pungent slime.
Always with the pungent slime. A lot of slime in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's more bloody than slime. Well, slime blood.
I gotta assume it's pungent. It's in a dank ass cave.
That's true.
It's oh my god. All right, Nate, you have a debate question.
Speaking of caves,
caves are really just the basements of mountains. Tell me I'm wrong, Nate. Tell me I'm wrong with that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I love
it. We should do more sleep deprived based episodes.
So is it essentially what you're saying is just like the lowest level of the basement is just like the molten core of the earth. Like that's really
right.
And if you're saying that, then by the transitive property, the basement of the earth is what's keeping the whole earth together. So you're welcome for that. I'm just gonna.
I don't know that I follow that.
If it wasn't for the basement, everything would fall apart. Everything would drift out to space. So I'm just gonna claim that.
You do you, fam. All right. So what you got for debate? Let's
debate question. Well, look, we're in this movie. We're in a cave, and not only are we in a cave, we're in tight spaces. Mm-hmm. You got claustrophobia. You got no light, and you got trapped. Being trapped in a cave, I just wanted to get your opinion on this. Being trapped in a cave is one of my all-time least favorite one of my, I wouldn't say phobia, because
it's a nightmare factory for sure.
It's a nightmare scenario. I was wondering, for you, what is the nightmare snenario?
Nature, outdoors in general would be a nightmare scenario.
Okay, so the cave might be good for you.
No, that is an extension of the outdoors. It is not a.
Well, what's scary, and this is what I was getting at. Like, if you were, because people who are claustrophobic would watch this movie in certain spots and go, "Oh no."
Yeah, no, this movie,
like past the "oh no" that you normally would get, and would be like, this is starting to really hit me. Like, what scenario would that be?
I mean,
it's got a little more specific than just nature, perhaps.
No, for sure. So this is caves are for sure top there. I mean, particularly in this movie, there's a particular scene where you know, they're crawling through this like narrow crevice, and like shit starts like falling around them, you know, closing up. Yeah, I mean, at the point where they're like trapped in this cave, I'd have been like, well, cool, I guess we're dead now. Like, I don't know. The people that survive these, like, hey, we've been trapped down a well for months or whatever, you know, and they get
the Chilean miners, if you will.
Yeah. I don't know. I would never have been in there in the first place because I'm not messing with that. But I think my most nightmare inducing, like, yeah, it's a bit of the claustrophobia. I mean, I think I have a bigger fear of like drowning.
Yeah, ditto. Okay, now you're getting.
But I think it touches on the same sort of like it's that same sort of claustrophobic camp suffocation sort of fear, right? Like that's the part that like, so the caves hit on that. You know, I don't know that I would be as freaked out about like if I was like stranded in like the ocean, you know, like sharks aren't what bother me about that, right? It's the, you know, I'd be more worried about getting pulled down by something.
Interesting.
Okay, so yeah. We just saw No Time to Die.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, you know, Lisa's a huge James Bond fan, particularly the Daniel Craig ones. I'm impartial to it.
Sound like she's more of a just Daniel Craig.
You know, I did want to touch it, but yes, that's probably, you know, I mean, they killed off the best part when Ava Green left, but I digress.
You can always see her in the second 300 movie. It's fine.
Yeah, that one's problematic when you try to watch that one with your wife. I was like, oh, hey there. There's boobies. So anyway, no, but I think there's a scene in there where Bond is, I mean, this gives like nothing away. He's just in he's in some vessel out in like the middle of the ocean, and it just starts like filling with water, and like the hatch doors are all like closed. And I'm really watching this just like, yeah, I mean, I would probably just accept that I'm dead. Like I don't even know I'm even like trying. I just, well, this is like, I'm looking for a way to just kill myself before the drowning.
You missed yourself. You pre-missed. Yeah,
I think I leaned over Lisa. I'm like, oh yeah, this is nightmare scenario for me. So that's probably it.
Hold on, has Lisa ever seen The Mist?
Yes.
Oh damn it! We need to get someone who's never seen The Mist before.
Yeah,
if we get that, movie.
That's
future episode. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe that's The Mist has that's one of those ones that like you either think the ending is genius and just incredible, or you are like,
I'm in genius camp.
Live it. I'm in genius camp too.
I'm in genius camp also.
I mean, it's not a ending you're gonna enjoy, but it is. I mean, if not for the ending, the movie is just unremarkable.
I like the movie even before.
No, the movie itself is just it's.
We might be getting in the same area here. Okay,
yeah,
so bring it back.
Yeah, okay,
sorry. So bring it back.
You, Nate. So
I guess so. So drowning is just the worst. Drowning is worse than everything. I could like everything in a horror movie. Like you just get slashed right away. I mean,
yeah,
drowning is much worse. My thing is I'm not a big ocean person. I'm a freshwater person up north, lakes, whatnot. Ocean. So if it's water specifically, it's ocean. And anything with the tide. Like if you're in a place and then tide rolls in and it's so slow, creep show
I was about to say, so the creep show segment with Leslie Nielsen,
that would be mine. If there was some sort of Descent 3, and we'll get into that, where you are in the cave and then the tide comes in a cave, that is the worst of all scenarios. You're trapped in a cave. So you have the claustrophobia and the drowning and caves. That is the worst possible scenario. But anything tide water rushing up on you related is got to be the worst, and why I will probably never go on a cruise or anything. Like I'm not even gonna.
It's really funny.
You gotta even mess with that.
Like I said, that you know that doesn't. The tide certainly bothers me, but like I don't know. Like I've been on a cruise and it's fine.
I don't know. We pooped in bottles. It was cool.
Like I'm you know, again, I'm amazed. I'm truly amazed that I go on the canoe trip with y'all, given my deep seated fear.
Fresh water. It's fine. It's fine. Fresh water.
But you still get pulled, like trapped underneath. You know, my words, like you get like trapped underneath or caught on something, right? And then, you know, and then also it also depends on the people you're with, because sometimes you're with people who, you know, maybe you wouldn't fully trust with like rescuing you.
I rescued you,
Nate. I think Nate, you were one of the few of that group of friends that goes. I don't know that I trust anyone else. I hope they're listening right now. So
good times. All right. Well,
anyway, what scares the bejesus out of you? What is your
group dynamic? That group dynamic will come into play in this movie. This is perfect. You're setting the stage for the whole review. I love it.
It's almost like I planned it. I didn't though. Let us know what your phobia or what is your nightmare scenario. You can let us know at TexasPodcastMassacre@gmail.com, TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. You can give us a call. Our voicemail hotline has been bereft of your voices. We want to hear them.
There's a dearth.
Yeah, give us a call. I don't know our number. Also, Google Voice needs to give me an international number. Like we need our international listeners to be able to call in.
346-246-3143.
Who is calling that? You know, why does Houston has like what 4 zip code or like area codes when you call?
I don't know.
Yeah, they had to add 3 because there used to be 3 and then they added that 3461 because I don't ever recognize that when I see it.
No,
but yes, call. You may luck out, and I may accidentally so it goes to like my it brings my normal phone. I might answer you live and be like, yeah, I'm in a meeting. You're gonna have to call me back.
I have very important business documents right now.
Well, because I've got we've had some. I'll see like a New York area code. I'm like, the hell's calling me from New York? And then like I almost answer it. If I didn't screen my calls as well as I do, I would almost answer. So you may luck out and get me answering, and then I'm too polite to hang up. So we could be talking for hours.
Mitch is gonna tell you all about his phobias. It'd be a great episode. He's gonna. You're like, you call me?
We're gonna get another voicemail. Be like,
you're on the hook.
Be like, Mitch needs to work some shit out, man. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my God. All right. Yeah. Do let us know. We've got some new things. Again, we've talked about some of the things that we're coming up. One interesting thing, Nate. So we've been working on, revamping the website a little bit. I think we are actually looking at trying to do some, written reviews, particularly around like I think some other things that maybe aren't so mainstream or so easy to like do a podcast on. Like, so for instance, like horror books and stories, shorts, more indie films that you can usually find on like Amazon Prime, but or something. But we might start trying to do some of those as well. So that'll all be kind of from the site. So again, TexasPodcastMassacre.com. Yeah, I think we'll have some good stuff there. Nate, are you going to write any of these articles?
Yeah.
It'll be, I think
thanks a softball. Yeah. I'll write one. Just one. I mean, I'll start with one and then we'll see what now. That we get sent some screeners and the independent films. And to be fair, a bunch of them that we've already watched, like went to like Shudder and everything.
Yeah.
After the fact. But yeah, we watched some all-time favorite Hosts. There is a kill in Hosts. That is one of my all-time favorites. Mitch, you remember that scene with the mom's monologue about, well, I don't want to give it away for people.
Oh, in Hosts. I was thinking Host.
Yeah. No, not Host. Hosts.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Because I'm sitting there like Host, like
both British.
The one that was good was the one over the pool, but I'm like, oh no, that's the wrong movie.
Yeah, yes. Not to be concerned with Super Host, also new on Shudder.
Okay, we got to find something else besides Hosts.
Stop using the word host.
I think
Bong Joon-ho already took Host. You can't just keep rehosting Host movies. We should get into this review.
Oh, God. All right. Well, look, this week's movie of the week is The Descent.
Now just give me a smile.
Juno, are you sure we're going the right way?
I've never been lost in my life.
There's only one way out of this chamber, and that's down the pipe.
I'm stuck. I can't breathe. Okay, Sarah, you have to calm down. I'm coming back. Okay? Okay. Okay, move! Now! Now! This is not good, guys.
Can we get out of here? Which way?
I don't know.
Sarah thinks she saw someone back
So
there.
what?
I don't think I saw someone. I saw someone.
No, you heard something and you saw what you wanted to see. It's the dark. It plays tricks on people. Please! Is there anybody there? Hello?
What was that?
I told you I saw someone.
Batteries on our lights will run out.
The Descent. A lot of boominess in that trailer.
Yes.
Very boomy. Nate. All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
tell me what for the uninitiated.
Yes.
What is The Descent?
The Descent is spectacular. I would say the premier cave-based horror film of all time.
How
Not
many
a-
other cave?
not a lot in the
films?
Not a lot in the running. Isn't there a movie just called The Cave?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I've seen the movie just The Cave. I guess previous episode, As Above, So Below, would technically be cave.
Oh yeah, because that was in the
Cave-esque,
catacombs in Paris, which is awesome.
which was also awesome. Yeah, that's probably my second. Other than that, there's not much.
Yeah.
And I don't even really remember what The Cave was about. Clearly.
a cave?
Clearly it's a cave. I don't remember what it was actually about. So I'm going to say this is the premiere one with maybe As Above, So Below taking second. This came out for the masses in 2006. This is a UK movie directed by Neil Marshall, who you might remember from the movie Dog Soldiers.
Who doesn't remember that?
Please have you not seen Dog Soldiers?
No, Nate, no one has seen
Oh man, I've seen Dog Soldiers.
Well, is it in the Nate Tyrion collection?
It's no Dog Soldiers, and it's about werewolves. I don't know why it's not Wolf Soldiers, but they got Dog Soldiers. So yes, so Neil Marshall, known for Dog Soldiers, known for this movie.
Liam Cunningham is in Dog Soldiers. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. He directed the Watchers on the Wall and Blackwater episodes of Game of Thrones. Both episodes I know by just the title. So 2 of the best Game of Thrones episodes, Mitch. So I know you'd appreciate that one. 2 Constantine episodes and a Hannibal episode. So basically just running some of the better TV shows. He did one segment in Tales of Halloween, and he did the critically not acclaimed Hellboy remake with the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't even see that one. Yeah.
Oh, and I missed the Westworld episode too. He's just getting all the good show. When he gets a show, he does like 1 or 2 episodes of a really good show, and then that's it. He's got a movie coming out called The Lair. When Royal Air Force pilot Lieutenant Kate Sinclair is shot down over Afghanistan, she finds refuge in an abandoned underground bunker, not unlike a cave, where deadly man-made biological weapons, half human, half alien, are awakened. That sounds right up your alley, Mitch. Right up your alley. Or is that a no? Alien? There's not a lot of alien horror.
Yeah.
Recently. There was quite a bit before that. But yeah, so there you go. Look at we got this guy. It's great. The actresses, it doesn't really matter. They're not in a whole lot. No, they're not in a whole lot. So I'm just gonna skip it.
Yeah.
This movie has one of my favorite taglines of all time. And you know I love taglines. This give me your review of this. The scariest movie in Earth. You either love it or you hate it.
I'm gonna go with hate. I'm gonna go with hate.
No, I love it.
No, that's bad, Nate.
No, I actively love that.
No. We're gonna. This is
the scariest movie in Earth.
Okay, I didn't click back enough because I saw a tagline on IMDb, a bitch of a werewolf movie, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Wait, hold on, did we watch the same movie? Yeah. So The Descent. Look, this is 7.2 on IMDb. This is an acclaimed film. It was filmed for about $6 million, made 57 in the box office. So this is a hit. It generated a much worse, but a worse sequel that was absolutely unnecessary. That was directed, I believe, by the cinematographer of the first one. So got that going for it. The movie, I would say, can we say this is like a modern classic.
I mean, I suppose,
can I say that?
I suppose you can say it.
It's it's a modern classic because it is part of the Naturian collection. So, which you already knew that was coming. One thing I did want to talk about really fast is, you know, one of the reasons we started the podcast is because we always had unsuspecting victims in our lives that we've tormented with watching horror movies and who are really good sports about it. When my wife and I were in college and just started dating, we were in my college apartment and we were watching this movie. I had seen it, maybe I don't know, like a few months before, and wanted to watch with her because I thought it was a very good movie and scary. And the part of the movie where they have the camera and they turn it and there's a thing right behind her, one of the characters, one of the monsters, I grabbed her, like I knew the timing, and I grabbed her and I just like went like that, and my wife screamed so loud that my roommate ran into our pitch black room watching this movie and was like, "Oh my God, what happened? Like, do we need to go to the hospital?" Or like, he was just like, "That is the most blood curdling scream I've ever heard." And I've never heard my wife make a sound like that ever before or after ever again. The Descent just was and again, incredible that she's watched hundreds of horror films with me, same as Lisa has done. But that was really the first where she came into unsuspecting victimhood just right from that moment, just forward. This is the movie for that for me. And so that holds a special place in my heart. So
I'm curious, Nate. Your wife has a black belt in martial arts. and legitimately knows what she's doing. I'm sure there's some people out there that are like, yeah, people have their theories about when people say they have a black belt. She legitimately knows what she's doing. Did you know she had that at the time? Because
I did know.
Okay, because I was really hoping this was going to end. The story was going to end with her just like just throat punch, like full on like throat contusion or something, like like that.
No, it did it. It did not. It was incredible. I feel very fondly about that. That's one of the ultimate unsuspecting victim moments in my life, of which there are many. I think
the thing with this movie is, the thing with this movie is that you have to sort, if you haven't watched it before and you watch it now, you're gonna sit there and I think you're gonna think that like, oh well, there's like a whole bunch of other movies that already do this. And I think, Nate, to your point about it being a classic, is that this came out in 2005. A lot of there was it certainly wasn't the first to do some of these things, but it was certainly a predecessor and probably executed better than most films. Because I think I had to go back and look. The movie that this most reminds me of in terms of like the tone and the feel is like Record.
Sure, love it. Yep.
Yeah,
I would say this
great movie.
Yeah.
I would almost say I actually enjoyed Record more than this movie. But I don't know if that's just because sometimes I have a soft spot for found footage horror.
Record is great,
but it also came out 2 years. I mean, you could tell you knew one of them was influenced off the other. I couldn't remember which came first. This came first.
Yep.
And so I think that's something to bear in mind if you're watching this for the first time. Is I don't always like to give free passes because of when something's made, but in this case, it is influential in the fact that it did come out before a lot of these type of movies, and did use some techniques like, you do have a little bit of the found footage in this movie. You do have a little bit, you've got you don't linger too much in the night vision mode of the camera, which
it's just enough to make you have a blood curdling scream where your friend's or your boyfriend's roommate runs in and say, "What's wrong?" That amount, which is just a fine line to walk, but perfect.
There you go, Nate with the boyfriend / husband of the year nomination.
This movie. I mean, I'm just going to start from the bat. I think it's a classic. One of the best top 10 horror films of the 2000s, in my personal opinion. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to go as far as that. Probably not. But for me, it is high on the list. And, in my notes that I wrote out for the movie, I mean, you don't see the first. I guess we should probably go over the premise if people haven't seen it, and it's on Amazon Prime Video. You can check it out,
and not one of the ones where it's like you have to rent it.
Nope, this is just it's a clean getaway Amazon Prime a movie. First 4 minutes is a group of women who love doing adventuring type stuff, and whitewater rafting, skydiving, bungee jumping, all that kind of stuff. Definitely cave spelunking. They, in the beginning of the movie, again, 4 minutes in, which is over half credits, you see a whitewater rafting trip. You see a husband and a daughter for the main character, and you see them get impaled / murdered.
Yeah,
almost instantaneously.
Don't get attached, because they did. Very early on.
Yeah, it's like you don't really have a time. Then obviously she's reeling from that. This is kind of a 1 year later. They reconvene their friend group to go on a thing because her friend or because her friends wanted to cheer her up and help her out, and she is wanting to do stuff with her friends and keep trying to not feel as bad and which if your little daughter and husband died right in front of you, that would
so when I explained
girls trip this is girls trip 2 or the prequel actually, but so then Sarah, the main character, she's like, all right, I want to do this. Let's go do an old school adventuring thing. And then things go awry, but you don't see a creature thing. This is a creature based kind of movie. You don't see one until halfway into the movie, right? So this movie really builds with the group dynamic, which comes into play obviously later. A lot of group dynamics, setting up all the characters, their motivations, things like that, so that when stuff does hit the fan, each of them is kind of distinct. They have distinct accents. There's a lot of different accents in this movie. And they're distinct accents, kind of distinct personalities. So that when shit hits the fan, each person is recognizable. And when things inevitably go wrong, you can feel for each of the characters because they did a lot of time setting it up. And once the shit hits the fan, it's pretty much constant. The second half of the film just goes and doesn't stop until the end. So that's the setup. Mitch, what did you think about these characters? Did you think did you care? You didn't care at all. After I said all that, you're like, didn't care.
No. And look, I'm gonna go ahead and jump. Nate, I think you and I are gonna vary quite a bit on our feelings of this film.
Nice.
So this is now like the third time I've watched this film. And I find myself feeling the same way every time. And I feel like everyone talks this movie up so much, and it's always on these top lists of like greatest horror films ever. And every time I watch it, I get the same thing. For the first hour, who gives a shit? Like it is like none of it is. It's unremarkable. It's every take what I said about literally 15 minutes ago about how it's very influential. The influential shit happens in the last half hour of this film. Everything before that is just straight up normal, like same shit you see in any other horror movie. All of the relationship dynamics. First off, all the side friends, who cares? None. There's no development of any of them.
Oh man,
no. This is really a story about Juno and Sarah, and I think.
What about Beth? What about my girl Beth? My favorite.
Nate, I can't tell any of these British like sounding women apart. I don't know which
different accents.
Which one was Beth? Beth, okay, I remember which one's Beth. Beth is the
good friend.
She's the one that gets done dirty. Sure.
Yes, she's the good friend.
Yeah, she got done dirty. We'll get to that. The rest of them, like the one that went to America. Okay, I don't know. There's a lot of characters in here, and honestly, they added more girls in there.
There's only six characters.
Yeah, but the movie starts off with 3 core, and then they add these like other random ones just to fill out the body count.
Well, they only added one rando person to fill out the body count, which is Holly. But okay, all right, point taken. So you just didn't care for these people at all.
I just did. Yeah, Sarah. Okay, you feel for Sarah.
Yes, that's the main character. Yeah, you definitely feel for her.
Sure. I mean, but I don't know. I feel like if you've never seen a movie before, maybe the shocking revelation between Juno and Sarah might surprise you. Or if you never watched Days of Our Lives episode, Nate, it is the most
the Caves of Our Lives. Yes,
Days of Our Lives. Please, that's the title right there.
Did it? We got it.
Oh my god! Like I said, it's not that it's bad. I don't hear what I'm not saying. Right? It's not that it's like a bad movie.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, don't hear me just whining about it. It's just the first hour. Just not a lot is going on. I mean. Okay, so in the trailer that we played for this, if you go find it on YouTube, it'll say, one of the I guess the early screen reviews was like it's the best thriller since Alien.
Okay.
No, Nate.
I'm still listening.
No, it's not. I get the claustrophobia piece. I get all that, but by the time it just takes, I don't know. I don't know. This could have worked a lot. This could have been a lot more effective just as a short than a feature film.
Oh, wow. Dang.
And
get to the end already.
Literally, even the very first time I watched this film, I felt the same way. And I keep
this is only 99 minutes. This is 99 minutes.
I know. And I keep rewatching it thinking like I'll glean some new like insight or appreciation from it. But even that, just as it's just, I don't care. And now I've seen other movies that have had better pacing or better, I'm okay with the monsters not showing up till later. I just, up until then though, it's just meh. All the great stuff, all the incredible things happen in like the back 30 minutes.
Well, I would say when you get the unsuspecting moment of the camera showing the thing behind, I think that's before that's in the second half for sure, but it's that's when it really like kicks off. Mitch, I gotta ask you.
Roughly last 30 minutes. I mean, Jesus, if you want to nit me, if you want me to find the right slice point of when
give me the timestamp.
Yeah, right.
Show me the timestamp. Yeah. No. What about? Can you tell me this though? Okay. Have you ever seen a movie with a better poster?
The poster is one of those posters. It looks great until but it also gets worse the longer you look at it.
Yeah, but it's incredible. All 6 women put together, all hanging in different ways, looks like a skull. Come on, that's incredible.
It is very cool. It's just one of those things that like the longer you look at it.
Well, stop looking at it.
The funnier it gets because all I see is them just sort of like posing for it. Everyone's just in a yoga pose. Yeah.
It is. I thought it's incredible. You got to give points.
No. Of course,
poster. Okay, so
it's a very smart design, and certainly,
yeah. We got our group dynamics in this one. Juno is kind of like she's like the leader, I guess, of the group in a way, like the most vocal, right? You got Beth. She's like the good friend. She's the one who stayed by Sarah after the accident. Juno, man, not so much. Sam was just like, yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to say that I stayed around at all. And then Rebecca, I think was a decent friend. And then Holly's the newcomer, the Juno protege who she went outside the group to keep living that adrenaline lifestyle after everyone kind of started growing up and doing different things and started being English teachers rather than Tomb Raiders, which is, again, a fucking amazing quote in this one. So that's the setup. Do you have a favorite, Mitch? I mean, you didn't care for a lot of these characters. Other than Sarah, who is your favorite?
What's the thing called that like kills them all? That one. I'm just
okay.
kidding. I'm being snarky. No,
let's give it a name. Hold on. Let's give it a name. Or like, because there's the cave spelunkers and there's the trapped miners who evolve. Wait, first of all, way too fast. Evolution doesn't happen that fast. Evolve into blind white Nosferatu-esque spider monkeys underground. I think there's what are we calling them?
Well, they're supposed to be bats. Do you remember the old Weekly World News that like really like garbage ass like tabloid thing? Like they talk about in like Men in Black,
like Batboy sighted in Chile.
Yeah,
like that kind of shit.
We call them the Batboys, but BOIs. Like the bat. Look at all those bats.
Oh my god!
That's like
Batboys.
Batboys. Yeah, that's what I called them. For better or worse. Probably for worse.
So like when they were like clicking and like echolocating, it was like Bat Boys Assemble. That was what the click. Like if there was like some subtitles.
Yeah, for that. That's what it was.
Time to eat, boys.
Exactly. They're logging on the Call of Duty and they are getting ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad Boys is what I'm going with.
It's gonna be.
Yeah,
it's a baseball reference. It's a this reference. Everything. I'm assuming someone will call Robert Pattinson a Batboy at some point.
It'll probably be me.
All the levels. Okay, well that's fair.
No,
okay, so your favorite is the Batboys.
No. So I mean, a legitimate answer. So of them, I mean, that's the problem. Is the only one that's fleshed out with any sort of backstory or anything is Sarah, and I mean, Juno's.
And to be fair, the backstory was quick as we went over. I mean, it was a quick backstory.
Juno does some shitty things, but she's also, frankly, the more badass of them all. You know, she turns into like fucking Lara Croft like halfway through the film.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, there's that. There's just not enough. There's not enough about these girls to say which one you like more. Like, none of them really have any sort of.
Oh, see, I'm Team Beth. I'm Team Beth on that.
Yeah, what is it with you and Beth?
I don't know.
I'm
Beth.
I am literally struggling to remember anything about Beth.
She's the good friend.
To her. What does that mean, friend. Nate? She's the good
Look,
friend?
This movie is a metaphor. Be a good friend or you will die.
She was a good friend. And spoiler alert, Nate, she died.
But she died. She died with more integrity than almost everybody else.
What do you mean more Nate?
More integrity.
Nate, almost everyone gets mauled to death. Like, spoiler, almost everyone gets mauled to death by creatures. She's the only one that gets fucked over by one of the girls. So everyone else doesn't get fucked over. So how is being the good friend working out for her?
If you're not a good friend, your other friend might not kill you before you get devoured. You're welcome.
I'm speechless. I don't even know how to.
Mitch, look, I'm just going to tell you. If you need me to kill you so that Batboys don't.
Well, if anything, Sarah's the good friend, not Beth.
Well, but she's reciprocating. See, so if you need someone to murder you, I'm your good friend. I'll murder you because.
Okay, great. I love that we have. I love that. Out in the world now, we will have an audio recording of you just. Yeah, I'm going to make that as a drop. I'm just going to make that as a drop of Nate just say, "I will kill you," and just
Mitch is going to fake his death, and then
I'm going to gone girl. I'm going to gone girl you.
You're going to gone boy.
BOI. Gone boy.
Gone boys. The Batboys were the original Gone Boys because people might have thought, they probably found some gold and just pieced out. No, they got evolved into weird hunting bat creature people.
As one is one to do.
As one does. In only a few hundred years. I mean, like 100 and some years. Not even close to possible.
Evolution happens the faster the lower you are in the ground.
The closer you get to the Earth's core, the faster the change. That's interesting. That's one way to think about it.
Or it has something to do with the mountains. I don't know. Are they on the same nuclear testing site that the freaks
interesting.
Yeah, blank on the movie because we're sleep deprived. I don't know. Anyway, yes.
Yeah. Well,
okay. So you're Team Beth for reasons.
And Team Beth. Yeah. So that's the setup. I guess the kills come in heavy. Now, the sequel to the movie really changes how this occurs. There's I guess let's get to the end first before we talk about the sequel and its ramifications. But so there's Batboys. I can't believe I'm saying this so much. This is an elaborate.
This is only improving the score for me. So I'm
about to type out Batboys later too. For some reason, it's just I'm never gonna escape. When the Batboys happen,
thrilled.
When the Batboys happen, people die. I mean, the dirtiest death is Beth. Beth gets killed by Juno's pickaxe on accident. It was an accident. God damn it. And in the throat, and she just leaves and backs away. Not unlike she left and backed away when Sarah needed her the most. Very consistent. She also does go Lara Croft and ends up killing 3 or 4 of these things all by herself, which is pretty astounding. Any other of the deaths stand out to you? They're mainly maulings, but I didn't know if any of the other ones really. It's like vampire mauling. It's like
it's weird. There's throat. These creatures are. They lean into a little bit more the vampire, but they also do more zombie-esque with the straight up just like devouring everyone. I mean, I think the kill. I mean, one of the better kill scenes is the one girl that's like on the hell rope, or she's like
she's suspended above,
and the thing like crawls
like,
above
opening.
her and like rips her throat, and
that one
and
was
like,
and she still takes it with her.
Yeah,
that was incredible. Okay, I guess that's probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Juno, dies off screen.
Does
the other people does she? And the other people get murdered. So I guess again, there's only 6 characters, so there's not a lot of kills. But
like the kills are
do a pretty good job of being
brutal,
effective.
but there's not really I mean, they're brutal and just. I mean, this film is fairly gory. But I think because of the lighting, you just the hard thing with some of these like horror movies where it's like they're trying to build like it's in the cave or all that. If you go too crazy with it being dark,
you can't see shit.
when you can't see anything, like
you can't see
there's a difference between like, oh, it's dark and that's setting a tone versus, I mean, I can't see shit. A chair I'm going to run into is equally as scary as any sort of monster in here. Right.
Sure.
I think the movie did a good job with its use of lighting and all that. I thought, there's different times where like the whole environment is a different color because I guess the flares they use and
the
things
red,
like that. Yeah,
the red.
There's like the greens in one spot. Those are cool.
Yeah,
but
if you're
good.
No. Go for it. Sorry.
Probably honestly the most like the kill that stood out to me almost the most was when your girl Beth gets like bludgeoned to death with a rock by Sarah.
Yeah, she gets dropped into. I just called it the boneyard. Like if you're going on Zillow for cave Zillow, and you're a bat boy, you're looking like, does this cave have its own boneyard? Oh, okay. Now I'm interested in moving in. They just have like a food chute into the boneyard. Like they just drop it down the food chute, and then that's where they eat. Like
how many times are you gonna say food chute? I'm just curious.
Food.
Asking for a friend.
So when she gets dropped down the sustenance chute, Sarah's already there, and in the incredible red lighting, and what is all that liquid? Is it blood? Have they been eating there for so long? There's a blood lake. Like, is that what we're talking about? Because that would be incredible.
Blood lake.
Is it a blood lake? I never thought about it before, but like there's so much liquid there. Is that just water or is it blood lake? I want to hope it's blood lake.
I mean, I don't know. It's quite a bit. Maybe it is blood lake.
It's a lot.
I think.
Yeah, it's a lot. So she fell into blood lake and then Mercy kills her friend, sees that she had grabbed Juno's necklace. Also saw that there was something related to her husband in there. Very, very show not tell kind of scene. You basically get 2 things of information in one without any dialogue, which I liked. I thought that was pretty solid filmmaking. You learned both that her husband had given something to Juno and that Juno had been around when she died and left her to get put down in the food chute.
Just keep saying food
I
chute.
threw it in one more time. One
more time. Okay. Appreciate
just
that.
like the Bat Boys did. They threw it in one more time. Right down there. So let's get into the end.
We're sending our love down the food chute.
Yeah. So Sarah just becomes, I mean, her time in the boneyard is extremely traumatic. Oh my God, it is. There's like blood everywhere. All the carcasses. She has to kill her friend. She has to fight off a bat boy. It is just a nightmare, like a nightmare scenario. The other friends are trying to find the extra, and Beth also basically a cave painting connoisseur also, by the way.
Well, yeah.
Because she uses a cave painting to figure out there's another exit earlier in the movie, which is incredible for reasons. And the And the ending, I guess, is really, you know, it comes down to like, hey, people are getting murdered by these things, but the real, Mitch, I don't know if you know this, but the real villain and the real horror, as always, is other people, specifically your friends, apparently.
What do you mean your friends? It's just Juno.
Yeah, but she's our good friend.
It's not that good.
Not that good. Leaves people to die. Leaves you after.
Well, leaves them
husband.
to die after she's the reason they get shanked with a pickaxe.
Yes, and we forgot to mention that Juno goes off grid for this cave spelunking action. No one knows where they are when they get trapped.
This is why. Look, Nate. This is why. Like when we go on our kayak trip, we all know what the map looks like. Like we don't trust our one friend to plan this bullshit.
Exactly.
That is a rookie move.
That's why I like doing the same thing over and over again. There's no Descent-like surprises. Seen way too many horror films like, oh, let's try this thing.
No.
Dead. You're dead.
Well, our friend keeps wanting to try new shit, and we all have to shut him up and say, no, we're going to do the same fucking thing we do every year. We're gonna be fucking happy with it. Like, what are you doing? I don't want to die. I'm getting older.
The closer it gets to the ocean.
Every year that I'm on this earth is another year closer to dying. So I'd rather not hurry the process.
You were in Final Destination 9 or whatever. And like each year you go on the canoe trip,
I'm resetting the clock.
Circle back. You might circle back to get you. Yeah,
well, exactly.
Yeah, well, look, if we go on that trip and it gets closer to the ocean, my tide drowning scenario becomes more and more likely. So,
hell, the last time we went, the water rose so high, you almost got a tide.
It did. It rose so fast. It was like historic flooding. Anyway, that was the best time to go on the water when there's historic flooding. So the ending basically is everyone's dead. It's a face off between Juno and Sarah. They work together to kill 3 Batboys, and then Sarah basically just drops the chain that Juno had, basically saying you killed Beth or did something to Beth and left her to die, and you also cheated with my husband. So I'm going to put a pickaxe like through your leg in a brutal manner. And she looks insane. Like Sarah is just like, her mental state has just exploded. Right.
Yeah.
Then, the rest of them, and there's so many. It was Pandorum-esque. I don't know if you've seen Pandorum.
No.
It was a horde. There's a horde of people.
I can't honestly remember if I saw Pandora. I'm aware of
it. And then leaves her for dead, and then climbs out. Now there's 2 endings. There's the US ending where she climbs out, gets in a car. She does her own Texas Chainsaw Massacre, except she's driving the car instead of jumping in the back of the pickup. And then she starts hallucinating and going insane. And then in the UK version, that escape wasn't a hallucination.
Because in the UK version, they actually show the whole US ending, and then they add on.
Then that was her hallucinating because her mind has broken, and she is about to get bear down on by a jillion Batboys and get murdered. Now the sequel, Descent Part 2, which if you want to watch it, you can. Takes the US ending, but then adds in some amnesia, which is the best plot point of all time. And whenever amnesia is involved, you're like, it's like the time travel bits, right? It's like, no amnesia? You kidding me? So then she has to bring other unsuspecting victims into the cave system because she can't forget, and they all think that she murdered everyone. Juno's alive in that one. Spoiler. Hey, Juno's alive in that one, even though she clearly was left for dead. And we go from there in a overall.
Better if the whole thing was just a fever dream. I don't know, because the US one, I mean, if you watch the US one on its own, right? I always, so before I knew about the UK ending being a thing, I always thought the implied ending was what we got, which was that it was all in her head, that she didn't actually escape. Because that was the thing, right? She gets in the car and she sees her friend, and then the last thing you see is just her eyes opening up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought the idea was that, you're left with that ambiguous, what was that? Was that in her head? Did she not get out? I will say, I think I do prefer the UK version. In this case, I like there to be not ambiguity there on if she got out or not. I think that it's a more disturbing ending.
Well, I guess, the ending, the US version this is all, the whole movie is kind of a metaphor for, the relationships between everybody and what she's processing and going through. Right.
Is it really a metaphor?
Well, it's, I don't know if it's a metaphor necessarily. I mean, it's a meta for Sarah. It's the journey to,
let's calm down. No one's over here saying Rosebud. Okay, let's
getting over her trauma. It's doing that, and part of that is how she, she is passive because of this trauma happened, and then by the end she's taking, action.
The problem is we don't see her
escaping herself.
The problem with that is we don't see her dealing with any of the trauma. It's just trauma, and then
she's silently. I think she's that kind of person. She was silently dealing with it, and then by the end,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get it. I just, if you're gonna say it's. I guess I disagree. There's some deeper message along there. I think
it's not that deep. It's not that.
Okay. That's cool. I'm sitting here what deeper? What metaphor?
It's all about
her friend feels real guilty about fucking banging her husband.
That's it. Yep. That's the movie. I mean, the ending is just nuts. It's very Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque. I read also that the director didn't let any of the women see the costumes or the designs for the Batboys. So when they were acting, some of those reactions, very Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque also, actually. Yep. The ending and that portion, except a lot less chainsaws heating up metal plates and burning people or filming in 100 degree weather. There's actually no caves in this. It's all filmed on sound stages in Pinewood Studios, where James Bond is also filmed. So there you go. Yeah, exactly. So it's got that little Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque vibe at the end, which obviously, hey, look at our podcast name. We're huge fans. So that is the end of the movie. Incredible. Go watch it.
All right. Well, Nate, look, let's get to it. We need to figure out what our final cut is.
Final cut.
Nate, I want you to go first. You are the standard bearer for this quote unquote classic Natronian collection entry. I feel like all the movies we've done lately are all Natronian.
The Natarian collection.
Natarian,
strikes again.
Natarian, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's interchangeable. Look, this is a classic film. I love it. My only debate, really, in my mind was: is it a 9 or is it a 10? That's where I'm at with this movie. Is it a 9 or is it a 10? I'm going to go with a 9.
Well, it's not that much of a classic then, huh?
It's a real good
this movie holds a special place in your heart with your relationship with your wife. I mean,
it does. Yeah.
When we get done recording and you go to bed and you lay down and you look at your wife and you think, this is the woman I married.
Where is this
and
going? Oh my God.
You're going to look at her and I mean, of all the things you've watched, this is the movie that will come up in your head most, and you're only going to give it a 9. That's
no. Right, there's other movies. There's other movies that traumatized her more. When we watched Babadook,
no. What is it? Audition? I think it's on y'all.
Oh yeah,
that's the one that I've heard her actually mention unprompted. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Anyone who's watched Audition is upset at us right now for that sound
That
effect.
one definitely traumatized her way more than this movie.
Anyway, okay, so 9 out
saying something.
9 out of 10. Okay, so
9 out of 10 Batboys. I'm just gonna steal it. I'm gonna lean or 9 out of 10 food shoots. I take it back.
Food shoots.
I mean, I love this movie. I love it. I can't recommend it enough. It's I would say just straight up modern classic. Really enjoy it. No reason not to go see it or buy the Blu-ray, which is kind of around this area on my shelf.
Right. All right.
Drop the average.
Here's the thing, Nate. The last 10 minutes the last 30-ish roughly minutes. Perfection. Incredible.
Yeah.
Genre defining. 10 out of 10. Easy. Unfortunately, there was about 45 minutes or so before that you had to get there. That was close to a 4 out of 10. It's just nothing about these characters. Here's the problem. If I'm going to spend this much time with these characters, I need to get out of it some like appreciation or connection with them to some degree. And I just didn't have that with any of them. So basically, because and the reason I say that, why that's important to me is because, yeah, I know they're all there to basically die, but I mean, if I don't care about them, who cares? And I'm basically just waiting around to just watch them get murdered, right? And that's not a horror film, right? That's just me wanting to watch people just get murdered. That's it's like
a lot of our listeners are like, yeah, and.
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
And that's fine. But again, if I'm going to give something a 9 or a 10, I want there to be there's be more to that horror too. I mean, the story has to really be there. This one is not. This one, the story really goes in second place to just the creature. Like the creature design is incredible. The fact they went with like a bat hybrid sort of thing, great. Yeah. The creature is like outstanding. Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, Nate, watching this movie made me want to play. Is it not in the dark, but what's the game with the Wendigos that I always mention?
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, honestly, that's a better version of this movie. 6 friends go into the woods, and a Wendigo is like terrorizing them. And it's almost the same sort of story point, plot points, things like that. Just as effective.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have your
Batboys. Yeah, agreed. So yeah, once they show up, once you have that night vision shot, and maybe even a little bit before then, once you really start getting into like the meat of, what's going like the creatures. Movie's fantastic. It just takes a long time to get there. So I'm gonna give this. Movie. What man? I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10 Tomb Raiders.
Oh, 6.
It's not bad. Look, I mean, I'm disagreeing with you and still saying this movie is still like good.
This movie's just as good as Psycho Gorman. Totally. Same level. God damn it, Mitch.
if unless you're new to the podcast, if my rationale for how I rate things is not frustrating the hell out of you, then I don't know what's going on. No, look, I don't know. I don't even know how to defend that.
I'm looking at this and like it's like The Descent. That's okay, but it's not as good as Velocipaster.
Oh my God. What did I give Velocipaster?
A 7 out of 10.
Did I really? Did I give Velocipaster a 7 out of 10?
Riding that Velocipaster. Now, to be fair, if they met Velocipaster in this cave along with the Batboy, like if that was like kind of like the leader of the clan, then I think this is a 10 out of 10 for you for sure.
Yeah, I think yeah. Okay, so I think my problem with my rankings is that maybe you do this. I don't.
Oh, I do the same thing.
Mine's it's not a comparative. It's not a comparative. Yeah. Like a 6 out of 10 here is not the same as a 7 out of 10 for Velocity. Like, you have to compare like the garbage ass movies together, and that's like that you can sort of compare. Like, you almost have to compare in like quality and type.
There's definitely like levels for sure. Yeah.
Like we give Lisa a hard time for giving The Omen such a huge score, which
mainly me.
And to her defense, it was like the second movie we made her watch. She really.
Yes.
I mean, but even then, a 2 for The Omen is not the same as her giving a better score for like Psycho Gorman or anything. It's like just not in the same realm. So anyway.
I agree.
Anyway, that is all right. Well, there you have it.
October, baby. It keeps happening.
Yep. Well, it does keep happening, Nate.
It keeps happening.
Let them know where they can find us this October.
Hey, well, you can find us as always at TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. We're in October. We got a brand new Halloween movie coming next week. Then we got our crossover episode with Why I Hate This Album, guys. It's the third year in a row?
Third or fourth. Yeah, we've done it.
Yeah. Wow. We can tell them the movie, right? We can tell what movie it is.
Yeah, we can. Sure.
All right. It is the when you think of Halloween and when you think of classic Halloween films, what do you think of? Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's right. End of Days, the 1999 demon, devil, angel, hell on earth, Arnold Schwarzenegger horror-ish action movie. So a little bit of a curveball on that one, but don't worry, the new metal soundtrack will be hilarious.
Yeah, we, as always, we will review the movie. Why I Hate This Album will talk about the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll have to see if we're going to do something different this year, but we will for sure. I am sure we're going to get a expletive laden voicemail from the guys. Now this year they picked this. They picked this movie, so I don't want to hear any bullshit from them about how it's another. Last few years, sure. I still think they were way too hard on Queen of the Damned. If you need, I would absolutely go listen to. If you want to prep for that crossover, go check out our first foray into this with Queen of the Damned. Because that soundtrack is fire, and I'm angry.
You love that soundtrack.
I love that soundtrack.
Not so much for Fred, not so much for the Freddy's dead.
No, I feel like both sides feel like we got the short end of the stick. So it's this will be something. I don't know. We'll see. We may have to have a crossover Christmas episode.
Oh, interesting.
We'll see how. We'll see if we're still talking to each other. I feel like we get real buddy and we're back to being friends in like the couple months leading up to Halloween, and then right after Halloween, it's just back to like just straight up hate. So, so we'll see if we're still on speaking terms at that point. But we'll go from there. From all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you so much for tuning in, and just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.